deal with money every day. But keeping track of it, man, they got a bunch of different places that they can actually go through. So today I passed out a newsletter, kind of looks like this. What is processing? And I want to talk to you guys about credit cards, debit cards. I don't know how much you guys actually know. There's a company, Square, out there. They're not local, but they do have a really simple flat rate, which a lot of people understand. Right now, they charge 2.75% on every swipe. So that means that if a card is present and it's a tiered program, what happens is they come in and they swipe that card on a $1,000 transaction. You're talking about $27.50. Now, let's say that you take a phone call, you're going to key the card in. Square charges $3.5 and 15 cents, so you're talking about $35.15 just for one transaction. Well, that's a lot to a lot of my small business owners. So you can already start to see the differences just at $5,000 bucks. At $5,000, you'll see about a $28 savings. The more you move up, the more money you save. A lot of people like tiered, and a lot of businesses and banks put people on a tiered program. With A&D, we have these services available, but it's not really the best service that's available out there. There's a second one called Interchange. I'm going to pull this one up for you guys, and I'm going to show you guys the difference. All right, so the second one is a product called Interchange. Man, I sell 99% of my merchants on this, and I'm going to show you why. Right now, Visa MasterCard charges on a debit card. Does anybody know what they charge for debit? It's 0.05%. So that means with Square, if they're 2.75, you would have paid them 2.7% above a debit card. So what we put everybody on is a program called Interchange. And what you'll notice, it doesn't matter if the key's typed in, or if it's swiped, or they call you over the phone and you put it in. We charge one rate at 0.25% and 10 cents on the transaction. So on a $1,000 transaction, you're talking a total cost of under around $3. Pretty inexpensive. So that's how I am able to get a lot of merchants to switch, because if they're doing more than $1,000, you didn't have to be crazy not to pay yourself. Last but not least, I don't have any monthly fees, monthly minimums, application fees, any of that. I do have one monthly statement fee of $14.95. So that's why I always say, if you're not doing $1,000 yet a month, you might not be a good enough fit, because you might spend a little bit more. So if you're doing more than $1,000, yeah, you'll start to see a savings right away. So it's very cost effective for you. The second part is you're going to want to have everything on one platform. If you have a bookkeeper, he has to check Wells Fargo, Square, all these other bank accounts. It's going to take him time, and it's going to cost you more money. With our platform of services, we can actually keep track of all of your sales, your transactions, and everything straight from a smartphone. So if you guys have a smartphone and are able to download apps, you can actually see how many transactions you're doing, who's your best customer, what your average ticket is, and you can see everything about your best customers, how much money they're spending, who's the best tipper, right? Because tips have to get tracked. If you don't have software in order to keep track of this, well, you'll pay Brian more money to track all this information down for you, okay? So it makes it easy. It's a tool and it's an app that you can download straight to your smartphone to know how to run your business. And you can see your average sale, how many transactions I've done this month, and how much volume. So it makes it nice, easy, and efficient, but also it makes it really easy for your bookkeeper to keep track of how many sales we're doing. Who is my best waiter or waitress getting tips? There's a lot of good tools that you can see in here that not only keeps track of your employees' hours, but it also keeps track of how much money they've made. So what happens is we're keeping everything on one platform. So you'll be able to not only take payments at a much lower rate, but you'll also be able to see how much cash was in my till, who went in and out of my cash drawer, all on our point tablets and all on our software systems. So what we do is we help business owners, and we give you tools to help you run your business more efficiently. Last but not least, when the customer goes in there and you want to see who's actually opening up that till, I can actually see the transactions in real time to who's opening up the till, if they're doing a cash transaction versus a credit transaction. And I'm having a lot of merchants starting to go away from the whole cash aspect, because that's just another thing for them to monitor. Average yearly, most merchants lose about 4% in cash a year. So if you did 100 grand, you probably lost out on about $4,000 in cash, just on average with most of my merchants.
Why is that?
Well, let's say Savannah came to my restaurant. She had a soup and salad, and it's $6.95, and then she had a drink, so it's roughly about 10 bucks. What I just never did is, I rang her up, showed her it was 10 bucks, but I never actually processed the transaction. So what happens is you'll actually see when, let's say Doke's the waiter, he types in that she had that, and then I went back and I deleted it off. You'll see that I actually deleted the soup and salad for Savannah. So, there's 10 bucks. Let's say that happens every day you have your restaurant open. That's 365 days times 10 bucks. You're almost at $4 grand. So that's why I always tell people, like, cash is starting to go away, where people are going to business credit cards and debit cards. You want to be able to take that, but it's also much more inexpensive for you to take a debit card than it is for you to take cash. So that's why I always tell people, put everything on a credit or debit card. Nobody's taking the money out of your till. Everything's being able to keep track of how many transactions, how much cash went through, purchases. Yeah, Mark?
Quick question for you. I have the ability to take credit cards, but I take a credit card maybe once or twice a year. Everybody pays me in checks. It's just how they want to do it. So is there a system that you have where a person can basically have the ability to take cards without paying a $20, $30 monthly fee?
Yeah, you put your check system on our checks also. You put checks into our software. So what happens, like, let's say you pay me with a check, and then next year I have you come back to do some maintenance for me. We store the information on our side for that checking account and the payment information, and you just give me a customer either ID or name.
Okay, but if they want to pay me with a credit card?
They can do that too. So checks and credit cards on our system. So yeah, and you can do reoccurring billing on our system also. So let's say that Mark came over to my house and put a fence in, and I said, hey, next year I'm gonna need it stained. So what Mark can do is he can actually go ahead and he'll bill me. The first time I can write him a check, he'll store that information in our system, and then next year when he comes back out, he can rebill me through my checking account for that service, for staining my, my deck or my fence, whatever you decide to put in. Yeah.
So the debit card, they have to enter a PIN number?
Yeah, so we do chip and PIN.
So that's the one you get a discount if they actually enter the PIN?
Or the signature, either or.
Okay, so over the phone it's not going to work?
No, over the phone, you'd have to send them the email
Okay.
with the receipt. Yeah. So that's the other part. We have emails where we send out the receipt for them. So invoicing's really easy, recurring billing. We do a lot of this stuff now. Cool. Thank you guys, Andy Business Services.